Thank you, everyone. My name is Kevin, originally from Argentina. Been living in the US for 4 years now. I'm living in Eugene, Oregon. I'm a professor at the University of Oregon. This is going to be my third year now. I've been teaching video synthesis, which is amazing. And yeah, well, as Andrei said, this is my baby, Vsynth. It started as a way to teach myself shaders, but it ended up being this whole video lab, video synthesis, vector synthesis. I don't know, it grew a lot over the past 9 years. It was first released in 2016, and it's a thing still today. Being used in tons of different projects, including some visuals for FX Twin, H&M stuff. I can show you some of that. Not the main idea of that talk is show off that things. But yeah, so this is kind of how it looks. This is the new website. I have a website now, which is great. And there's an interactive patch here. But yeah, that's how it looks. You have generators, processors, colorizers, and yeah, again, it started as a way of teaching myself shaders. It began as a modular digital video synth, but now it's such a big, generative graphics lab that you can interface with analog gear as well. So I'm going to be showing some of that. I invite you to check out the website. You can see some of the projects that has been done with it, not only by me, but for some other folks, Paramore, I don't know, it's quite a thing. Some vector stuff here as well. But yeah, also I want to encourage you to ask me questions in the middle of the talk, because then the QA afterwards is sometimes off topic. So if you want to interrupt me, feel free, raise your hands. So I want to start this talk by showing some patches that have been done by other people, not me. You can see some of my stuff on social media at my table. So yeah, and actually I want to start with some of my students' patches, which is kind of dope to see, because these people have no idea about video synthesis whatsoever. Maybe they know some programming with processing, so it's been really interesting to see what they come up with after a few classes. So I only have 2 right now. I mean, I can show more. Here's my UO classes folder. But yeah, let's start with Tapestry. This is more like a classic one. This is maybe the 3rd week of classes. So you can see waveform generator, displacement, blend mode mixer, 2 feedback chains. And Lydia, I think that was my student name, this was a few terms ago, she said, I was curious to explore video feedback further. So I experimented by combining 2 separate video feedback chains. And when I layer them together, I create this fractal-like tapestry. And here we go. Oh, it looks a little off. It looks kind of gold here on my screen. But yeah, pretty normal feedback stuff. Interesting, and we can have previews here of everything. So I don't want this to be a Vsynth tutorial, but you can always preview everything, and you have different types of previews. I can plug here a scope. We can see the waveform that it's coming out, and if we want to compare how the one-dimensional waveform looks with the 2-dimensional waveform, we can just hit the button there and modify, and it's very easy to not only create the graphics but also understand what you're doing at every stage of the processing. So yeah, Lydia's patch was pretty cool. There's some presets here she saved, different configurations of the same patch, different colors, different scaling in and out in the displacement. But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool patch. But this is what I'm mostly interested in, because getting to fractal-like patterns, reaction diffusion type patterns is actually quite easy in this system. But there's something that we all like a lot, I think, which is trying to generate landscapes and more not abstract things, right? So this was a sculpture student that came to my class again, no knowledge at all about this field. And this is what he came up with. Pretty insane patch. But when you start like plugging previews everywhere, like it makes sense. And the most interesting thing about this is that this is not just this landscape with the water. There's actually several presets here. So that's the first one. Then the second one, another kind of landscape, and you can see that how like the rocks on the right transforms into the moon. And then this gets more crazy, okay? Prepare yourself. Dax. Gets even more weird. Boats. It's pretty cute. And there's another pretty cool thing you can do here, which is interpolating presets. Sadly, this patch has a lot of switches, and this is something I'm trying to change for future versions. Like, you will see in the interface that there's still switches, but internally there's going to be no switches, so you can actually interpolate very nicely between the presets. This is something I took from Lumen. You have a quad crossfader here, and you can select the different presets you have saved, and then just I'm gonna put this in presentation mode. Again, I don't know if you guys are familiarized with Max at all, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave that so the interface doesn't update all the time, and maybe this is more fluid. But yeah, you can just see all how the shapes transform one into the other. It's quite an interesting thing to see. And again, this is crazy. It's just the same patch, just how you tweak it, and then you go from trees and rocks and little creek to boats on an ocean with two moons. This is pretty dope. So I'm really interested in this actually, and I'm gonna keep showing some patches from like users, what I call like emeritus Vsynth users, I guess, or something like that. They're wild. They're wild. So let's start chill first. Let's say Dr. Squeakers. These are their names on social media. So you have Milk Mandarin, Dr. Squeakers, Clock Logic, Retro Tapes, and Lucasox. So let's start with Dr. This is also a pretty big patch, more abstract. This probably can be done with less modules, but I'm not here to judge the patch, just to show different kinds of things, patterns that people do with this. So you have very optical kind of patch, and obviously like presets and different configurations of this same patch. All right, I'm gonna try to move forward fast because I have more stuff to show. Okay, let's go to Clock Logic. This is one of my favorite users, really. So I'm just gonna go and just focus on lunar reflection, because this is interesting too. There's like a lot of people just like grabbing shader toys and copy pasting them into different frameworks, Touch Designer, Max, whatever really that can load shader toys, which, you know, like we can also talk about that, like copycats and, you know, people using other people's code. But he branched from this shader toy, just the image, and tried to replicate this in Vsynth, and it looks fantastic. It looks pretty much the same. So here it is, the lunar reflection. And it's, look at that like subtle motion. That is really pretty. And again, if you start putting previews around, you will see that it's not like crazy things. Like here's just the circle, right? That you can sum with this kind of like diamond shape if you want, and you get that, right? And then, well, there's a few Max stuff that he's using, basically these procedural noises. I haven't done that module because it comes with Max, but it's a pretty easy snippet you can grab from here, fast BFG, and you can just plug it into Vsynth stuff. But it's just like procedural noises here with a really high frequency, but you can see it there forming. right? If I keep increasing the frequency, it ends up being noise, and you have this shine there. Very beautiful patch, at least for me. I'm really into this stuff. All right, let's go to this. Okay, retro tapes. It's actually an amazing user. This guy is from Iran. I have here his Instagram. He's like deeply into creating patterns and representational patterns. This is all Vsynth. I don't have all these patches. Do I have internet? No, great. You can check that out later. They are really pretty and really psychedelic, really vintage too. You have this vibe. So here he shared with me Jellyfish patch, which is one of his last ones. Again, pretty big patch. You can do as the biggest patch your computer can handle. It's pretty performant, but yeah, obviously if you just increase the resolution to 4K, it's gonna drop frames. But yeah, here we have it. It's a really nice looking jellyfish. And it's running right now at 640 by 640, but I don't know, let's just try this out to 1280 by 1280. And it's still 60 FPS. And I guess I can keep increasing this until some, I don't know, maybe 2K, and then it's gonna crash or something. But again, super big patch with a very specific idea just to make this like vintage looking jellyfish. And it's nice to see how these people create these kind of color palettes. There's like a million ways, and here in particular, he's like splitting the RGB and then using a frame delay to create like an RGB offset, which I found very interesting. And yeah, again, previews everywhere, and you can double check how this patch was made. Okay, last but not least, Lukaszok's. Dope. He wasn't my student. He's also from Argentina. He's a big Vsynth fan, and I haven't learned, like I learned about this guy like just a few months ago. I didn't know him before, and I'm very freaking impressed. So I hope you are too after I show you this. These are insane patches. Like I don't even make these. This is like wow. Like they really dive into it deeply. And here it is. And you can see all the feedback forming patterns that are in the palm trees every time I change the preset. But again, it's just that. There's nothing else. It's just like this palm landscape with the ocean in the back and some gradients and noise to add texture. And the one that impressed me the most is this one, this spaceship. This is completely crazy. Again, massive patch, and boom. And there's a bunch of presets. Because yeah, he keep tweaking parameters, and here's the hyperspace. Let's see, there's one that shakes that I find amazing. This one, this like shaky motion, very cool. And there is another one that is like traveling through space in this like spiral motion. Amazing. And I was wondering like how you did this spaceship, because these lines look sharp. It looks like a little drawing, but it's like literally just like a triangular square wave. So a triangle made with a square wave with some phase modulation with another shape. Incredible. I'm like stoked to see this kind of patches every time I can. And luckily some of them actually share the patches with me, because you will be surprised. Sometimes they don't want to share the patches with me, which is crazy. But yeah, there we go. All right, okay. So those are the patches from my community, or some of them at least, some of my students. And I'm only going to show two of my patches, I guess the latest before the actual latest one, which are this VGA oscilloscope raster idea. which are this bandpass feedback. Let's see. This one is with the camera, I think. Yes. Let's do that. Ian. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, it's more reaction diffusion stuff. Vsynth is really powerful for this. It comes with several different filters and convolutions, and depending on how you hook them up, you can get all these like more organic behaviors. There's several presets just by tweaking some parameters. There are some examples that come with Vsynth also as well, with different reaction diffusion patterns that emerge. More black and white. And it's cool that it's just the same patch, right? Let's see. I don't remember all the presets. Yeah, this one is nice. I like the dripping effect. All right, and the last one is not that flashy actually, but I found interesting like the exploration. It's also kind of like a landscape. It's on my desktop, I think. No, it's not. Is it? Yes. Moon. Okay, what did I do here? There you go. All right, so you can see like a cityscape, something like that, but this is actually like a little study on noise. So the moon is done with two different procedural noises overlapped. Then the cityscape itself is actually like noise modulating a square wave. And then the lights on the buildings is also another noise source. So just a little example idea of things I'm interested in how to present some concepts in a creative way. So I thought this one was a cool one just to show you. Again, you can't see the cityscape, right, and the moon and all that, but I'm seeing like different layers of noise used in different ways. One is to achieve some texture, the other one is to actually make the shape of the buildings, and the other one is just the lights. But yeah, different layers of noise used just to compose this image. All right. Do you have any questions about this stuff before I? Yeah.
Can you export these as like shaders in any way, or is that?
Sorry, what?
Can you export these as like shaders, or?
No.
No.
But they are shaders under the hood,
yeah.
And you can, Max is paid, but Vsynth is free, and you can always open the patches and see the shaders, how they are combined.
So there is no Rainbow Bridge. You're not using Rainbow in this?
No, because Rainbow doesn't work with video.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a way to make this one bigger so we can see it?
Yeah. I can go full screen.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much.
Any other question? All right. Okay, I'm gonna move forward to this, which is like the latest prototype. Right? This is not. It's there somewhere in Vsynth in the public release, but what I'm gonna show it's not soon. This gives you some time if you haven't used Vsynth yet to like catch up, because there is a lot to explore. If you go to my table, you will also see a Vectrex, and that is being fed with audio signals. So there's a whole set of modules that work with audio and receive video feed in order to then like draw in oscilloscopes or vector displays with audio signals. What I'm going to show now, it's still video. So yeah, I'm going to dive into that. I learned about this technique or concept from Ivan Marusik-Cliff, which is another Max head from Croatia. And in 2022, I went there for Vector Hack Festival to actually present the vector synthesis add-on for Vsynth. And he presented this technique to create a raster with a VGA out from the computer. So what I'm doing here is I have a USB-C to Thunderbolt, and then Thunderbolt to VGA, and then VGA to BNC to feed the scope. And then I'm sending two ramps. This is arbitrary, really, you can change this, but I'm sending a ramp to the green channel, a ramp to the blue channel, and then brightness to the red channel. And that will create a raster with some shapes. Again, in my table, well, right now it's unplugged, but after the talk, I'm going to plug it again. You will see this working as well. So, again, this, I don't know if it's an original idea from Ivan, but I learned about this concept in his talk. This was 2022. I have actually his patch. So this is what, I don't think I will be able to make it work. This is like a contained little raster scan processor, kind of like the root tetra with this VGA technique. It's all jitter based, but like the main point was like create the 2 ramps and then send the brightness signal to the red channel. And I'm like, okay. So that night after the whole set of talks and whatnot in that festival, we hang out and I come up with this little Vsynth patch because like you can make 2 ramps very easily. In Vsynth is a very silly patch. This is the patch, the original Vsynth patch. Actually, it's a little different because, again, I'm saying, as I was saying, this is arbitrary how you route the signals. So here I was using red for the horizontal ramp, green for the vertical ramp, and then blue for brightness. I have set this up in a different way now. Not sure why. But yeah, this was what we did that night, and it worked right away. So then I asked him permission if I was able to like dive deeper into this technique and develop it further, and he said, yeah, do whatever you want. And I end up doing something like this. VGA for Ivan, let me see what this patch is. Oh, that's what I just opened. All right, so I can actually just start a new patch. And let's see, camera default. And this is gonna be just the preview from the camera, floating preview. And yes, all right. And then I'm gonna grab another camera for myself. And since it's not like a module that I finished, it's a work in progress, but it's pretty advanced now. I have it here as a snippet, so this is how the patch I just showed you all contained into a module, which still needs some work, but it's looking good. So I'm gonna connect the camera here, gonna connect the output to the actual output from Vsynth, which is gonna be drawn here. And that's how it looks. So I'm gonna send this to the scope. And give it a second. Yeah. So now I'm there in the scope. And it's a pretty good looking raster, and it's been working great so far in different scopes I've tried. There's a little grid you can see that probably comes from the translation from digital to analog. But yesterday with Joshua, are you here? Yes. We add some noise to this grid, and it looks better actually. I made a little mode here called noise $1. So I can activate that so you can compare how it looks. So that's without the noise, and you can see the grid, and that's with the noise. The grid is less visible, it's just a little more noisy, obviously, but it looks more analog now. I'm gonna keep diving into this to see if I can actually get completely rid of the grid. Otherwise, it's something that we can deal with. When you start like applying transformations to this, you don't really notice it. Like now that the image is flat, you can actually see it. But then I can send this same camera image, I'm gonna send it to all the modulations now. But if I do Y modulation, and I have like the classic, or one of the classic root tetra looks, they really start to kind of disappear. There's another cool thing that is, if I don't send anything to the brightness, it's just the raster. So you can still apply transformations. So like if I delete all this, it's just the raster. So then I can add just a waveform generator or something like that and send this to the scale and modulate that. right? Actually, let me just grab a very cool waveform generator called the polarizer, which you can not only, I'm gonna put the scope. You can just like morph between different waveforms, which is pretty sweet. There's no switch there, but you can also access like radial shapes very quickly. So for this kind, that's a lot of distortion. Let me just zoom out a little bit. There you go. And it can be 3D. I'm just like, I need to implement this in a little better way, but I can activate like a 3D version of this and do here rot E $1. And you will see that this, it just rotates in 3D. And we can do displacement. So I have the other rotations. It's just like uncomfy right now to show all of that. I need to implement it in a little better way. There's another cool thing here is that if you don't have a scope, I made this okay preview for now. Looks like that. It's not the best. I think it can be better. But yeah, if you don't have a scope and you're prototyping with this technique, having something like this, it's very useful. But yeah, all right. Something I like to do here is, I'm gonna turn this 2D again. And it's adding like noise. So generators, white noise 2. I'm just gonna send this to everything. Let's do like 4, 3 by 2 or something like that. Yeah. And then you can interpolate those values and you have a different kind of like interpolated distortion. So this is what I've been working on these last couple of weeks. I hope to release this at some point before the end of the year. And before I open these to questions, I just want to show a few like creative patches I've done with this. I'm gonna turn the intensity down a little bit here. Yeah. Let's start with the lapse time. All right. So well, you can see the patch here, and yes. Oh, it's inverted. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So that's like a 3D shape actually. Can you see the mouse going to the screen? So I can rotate these from here as well, which is pretty fancy. And yeah, just you invert the colors there, and you can have like the inverted image basically, which is kind of cool. And then half and half. This is just all tests to like show the potential of this new module and this way to generate the raster in the scope, because it has way more lines than doing it with audio. And then a square wave pretty fast.
Can you make that bigger, please?
Yes, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see if I can make this work a little bit less smooth. Oops, sorry about that. There you go, that's better. Okay, another example. Beautiful bacteria. Okay, so this is actually being detected as a secondary display, so I'm literally dragging the window and going full screen. Let's turn this on, and preset. Okay, that is not the preset I wanted. This is the preset I wanted. It's like a COVID kind of thing.
Can you make it big?
Yes, sorry about that. It's a little blurry. Okay, there is something here that I can do to fix this probably. Okay, turn the brightness down a little bit. Hopefully you can see that better. All right. So actually, this is a very old patch. If I go to early experiments, this is like 2023, and actually this is the patch you can get from Vsynth right now, which is under the snippets. Like if you download Vsynth now, instead of saying here 2D VGA-Raster, will say fast VGA to VNC, I think, and you will get this snippet, which inside is just like a Vsynth patch. Like one of the cool things about Vsynth is that you can prototype modules with Vsynth modules. And yeah, so you will get to this if you download it now. But yeah, these are 2022 experiments when I first learned about this. That's the beautiful bacteria patch. That's the camera. This was a cool experiment that I did because you can hook up this to a Matrox triple head-to-go, which is like it's a VGA extended display with 3 outs. So basically it creates a really long extended display. So I was using that here to create this kind of like scope video wall, right? You can see me moving from one scope to the other. It was pretty dope to see that working. Oh, this video is not great quality. But yeah, Max Chicken's video going from one scope to the other. Yeah, that's old experiments. Here, how it was looking like years ago. Just the patches. Luckily now it's like an actual module. All right, and at my table, this is the actual patch you're seeing. Let's go here, and again, camera on. We have these landscapes done with this technique, mountains or different kinds of shapes for the mountains. Can make this bigger. And then same patch, different config, ocean or waves, clouds. It's pretty nice. So yeah, that's all I have to show you from Vsynth right now. Hope you're interested in this, and yeah, I open to questions. Yes, Sean.
2 things. One, you're an insane perfectionist, and everyone should sign up for your Patreon to pay you to do this.
Thanks for that.
Number 1. Number 2, I don't think, not knowing you, folks might not realize this, but I'm curious to hear you talk about the influence of like historically significant analog video synthesizers on how you laid out Vsynth, because the one thing that I love about it the most is that it feels like you're using a real video synthesizer, which is not the case for a lot of digital tools, and I just would love to hear you talk about that.
Wow. So my background is in electroacoustic music composition, so I knew about audio synthesizers. I didn't know absolutely anything about video synthesizers, but the Namjoon Pipe colorizer that the professor mentioned one time. So again, like I started this as a way to learn shaders because I wasn't understanding the math. And one friend showed me Lumen actually, and a few months later is that I released the first version of Vsynth, because when I saw Lumen I was like, oh, I definitely understand the sine wave going and modulate the other sine wave. So I start with really simple building blocks, like the first version of Vsynth only had like square wave and sine wave. And the interface was terrible. And it wasn't until like a year later that Vsynth was released that I went to Signal Culture and I actually started using considering the historical video tools. I had a friend back home that had an LCX system, so I tried a few things before traveling there, but it was there that I actually tried all this stuff for the first time, like in this way. And meeting Dave Jones and like talking to him about this. That was the way, but honestly, it's mostly the audio synthesis background and knowing Max and like it's the same flow. So I guess that's why. Yeah.
Like one more.
Sarah.
So you're showing a lot of representational patches. What is it that interests you in those? Like, are you finding like deeper conceptual meaning and finding order in chaos, or can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. In my case, at least, so these machines work with an electrochemical reaction, and kind of we are alive because of electrochemical reactions. So I find that connection like really deep. So that's why I'm making a lot of patches that like talk about life and like emerging patterns in nature. And yeah, video feedback is also all about that. So that's why. And yeah, I guess it's similar to a lot of people that do that. But I also do a lot of abstract stuff too. I just didn't show it today. One more question?
No, we're wrapped.
Oh, well, we need to wrap this up. So thank you so much, people.